Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. My name is Mike Stansbury, and today my guest is Edin Bojic. We're going to call him Bo today, just for my personal, it makes it easy on me. Bo's his actual name that he goes by. Bo, thanks for coming along here, and I want to let people know that at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and to live the lives they've always dreamed of. Bo, your big hook. You've been in property management for you and your partner for over 40 years. Tell us what your origin story is. How did you get into it? What's that like in New York City? Because I'm from Memphis. Some of our folks are down south. We'd love to hear the story, Bo.
It's the true sort of immigrant story for both myself and Frank, my business partner. It's really where your father was involved in the business, and I was sort of in the back end of it. I'm not really scared of trying to find my way, and I accidentally jumped in on it. But in the beginning, I started off as a security guard in a commercial building. I moved up from there and was managing commercial buildings for a good period of time. And after 9/11, sort of transitioned over to residential. And I personally own a nice small family property in Bushwick, which we lived in during the 70s, and that moved on from there. But it's still in our possession, and I really do like that up-and-coming area now. You know, it was a tough neighborhood, and now it's a great area to go to. So, and really in New York City, it is quite interesting where it's a huge city, but it's still a small place where everybody knows everybody else. At least you got 2 degrees of separation around here, not 6. So, yeah, it's an interesting career. Where now I'm in a luxury condominium, over 580 apartments. We run on a daily basis, almost 30 employees. So we're constantly get busy, yes.
And so one of the things you say is like communications is the key. You say if anything, Bo's really gold standard at communication. So what does that look like? How do you teach that to somebody? Maybe to some of your employees, or what's your philosophy around communication, especially with taking care of all those people in the condos and the apartments?
But it's really the more information that you put out to them, the happier they'll be. They don't want to come home and see surprises. Oh, we don't have any hot water today. Gee, I wonder why. None of that is going to happen. And basically you start off with your front desk and your doorman, and that's where the greeting comes in. That's where people are greeted, and guests are checked in, and that's where they're going. And, we're going through this whole process, and believe me, when I say nowadays, there's probably hundreds of packages every single day. We have a special area for them.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And all of this has to be communicated. And we have some great apps. Building Link is one that's fantastic, that allows you to communicate to your residents. It allows you to communicate to the staff and to management so that everybody is in the loop. Everybody knows what is going on for that day, for that week, and sometimes into the next month. Look, we also post birthdays and announcements, and people can, if they want to trade or get rid of their furniture, they can do it on there as well. But so that when people get home, they don't want to hear there's not this or not this. You have to give them a chance to know what is going on.
Yeah. So when there's something that's disruptive, right? And they don't want to know about it as they're walking in the door. They want to know about it while they're at work so they can prepare for it, right?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it is to be prepared for it. As much as we're prepared for it, and hopefully nothing happens out of the ordinary, emergencies are a different story. In an emergency situation, we try to get the information out as soon as we can, but we're dealing with 50 different things. We're dealing with about 50 other things, so it gives them a chance to know what is going on. I try to be as communicative and open as possible. My door is always open. Anybody who wants to come in, I have my cell phone. I try not to give it out too much, but it's the way it is.
Right. It's funny. People, if they know the proper protocols, I'm really big on only a few people have my cell phone, but I can be communicated to pretty quickly with technology these days. And so what has changed technology wise? What has helped you? What do you like? And maybe do you miss anything about maybe the old ways of doing things, or how has technology helped you or hurt you in property management?
Yeah, I even go back to the fax machine and messengers. And I don't know if people remember the bicycle messengers where they're all over the place. And no, you didn't have city bike. You had your own bike zipping in and out. This little device, it's what everybody has. I love my BlackBerry. Loved it, because it was great for what we were doing. But I think where people are best now is like, hey, I have a situation in my home. I need some help. Hey, here's a picture of it so you can see it. Before we even go up there, we know what we're dealing with. I think that kind of communication, that kind of help. Your cell phone is your camera, it's your microphone, it's your recording device. It's everything out there. And mine is available. I try to keep myself as available. I know this is a 24/7 type of job. So on my nightstand is my phone to charge it. Not the best way to wake up, but it does the job.
Right. All the pros, all the health experts tell us that we need to put it away from our nightstand. But I'm like you, sometimes you got to have it. Yeah.
Not in this position. You got to have it around you all the time. And when most resident managers out there, we have our little go-to bag, a little kit that we always keep in our home. So it's really quick. You just grab it and go. We can deal with almost any emergency.
Yep. The go-to bag. So you mentioned earlier about like a pivot point in your life, specifically about 9/11. So what were you doing pre 9/11, and was it 9/11 that made you think, okay, maybe I need to pivot and go into this part of real estate?
No, it's
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
It was a traumatic and dramatic day. It was all of that. People, I didn't know then. My father was in the hospital, actually, and I was driving to the hospital and coming out of the tunnel, and I did not see the planes crash into, but I saw the after effects, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought it was a major fire. I'm like, why the hell isn't that fire extinguisher system working? Why isn't the sprinklers working? How can it be so much fire and smoke and everything? Only to learn later on the radio that an airplane had gone into. So after that, it was just a matter of where do you go? What would you like to do? Commercial business is great. It's really 9 to 5. Although we stay a little bit later, I get it, guys. You don't have to hit me yet. It might be 9 to 5. It might be everything, but you're really not dealing with a personal type of issue. They're going to be there 9 to 5 and they're gone. They'll just call us. We always have the people who sit late. We always have a late shift. But more so with residential, it's really a one-on-one. And it's basically is that these people have invested everything in this apartment, in this building. They've invested their, some might say this, and it's an investment that they want to see, make sure that it runs correctly, that it runs on budget or under budget as much as we can, that it has people that are equipped to deal with emergencies or with new local laws that have come out and have the education and the experience to handle all of this. So, like I said, we're talking about coming in through the door. People don't want to know it. They just want to walk in their door, go upstairs to their home, and relax. And that's really what we all try to do at this point.
Yeah. Well, so Bo, I'm curious because the New York market, obviously, in condos and the residential real estate, commercial real estate, multifamily is different in New York. In fact, if I'm being honest with you, in my family, I have not been to New York yet, so I've not experienced it yet. I've got to get there. I want to ask you, in your buildings, do you guys handle when somebody wants to sell their condo or their apartment? Do you guys handle the transaction, or is that something separate that they just get another realtor for, or what does that look like? I'm curious.
Well, we have brokers in some buildings. Especially when they're opening, there's major companies out there that provide the brokership. There's one of them, and most of them have their own TV shows by now, so you know which ones we're talking about. And they handle it in our building here. We have a few brokers that know the building, have been sold various apartments over the years, so they're very good, and that's the person that you're looking for if you want to sell your place. You want to know the broker that's there and has done transactions in your building because they know what it's really, really worth. They know what they can get for it with the top dollar is. And that's it. Our job is just to help them out. Yeah, really, we'll provide, or we do a lot of, some builders will allow us, some don't. So if they want to have open houses, and we have some apartments that actually get staged. If the people move all their furniture out, they'll bring another company to stage it so that this is what it can look like. And with new buildings, I've actually been involved with opening a couple of brand new buildings. And the amount and effort that goes into it is amazing. Because listen, you're talking about anywhere in $3, $5 to $10, $40 million apartments that are out there. So yes, they have to look a certain way. Your staff has to present itself in a certain way. And I think that's all part and parcel of everything adds to the experience as you walk in. As you walk in, the very first thing you're there is the lobby, is the person who's going to greet you, who can show you where the elevator is, take you if need be.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I think that's what everybody is looking for. You're going to be greeted by Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, and you're going to see the same people all the time. These are almost like family because they see them, they have this sense of, okay, I'm home. And I watch as people come from vacation or they come from, let's see, some of them don't live here that often, but they will come back and visit. They treat these guys like long lost relatives. I'm like, oh my God, how many times I have to tell them, like, stop feeding my doormat? It's like that, isn't it? But this is the kind of place that I really, really like to see. And I think if you're investing, if you're buying, you want to go into a place where the people and the staff are appreciated and they're performing to the best level of service they can.
That makes sense. To give you an idea or to help me out, because again, I'm very curious. When somebody buys into the building, is there a management fee that they have to pay every month for these services, or how does that service get paid in building in New York? Again, I know nothing. I know nothing about New York real estate. So clue me in on that.
It's maintenance fees, and as well as common charges and expenses on a condo or a pool. That will include basically all of the insurance, payroll, taxes, electricity, water for the building, for the common areas. In some buildings, there's also extra charges because of the amenities that are brought in. Some buildings have pools, gyms are very, very big and popular. Lounges, day rooms, kids' room is very, very important in some aspects. And all of these, yes, may be included in with the maintenance, or it could be extra charges for the joint. But New York is, shall we say, a little bit more expensive than other places to live.
Yes, and it's worth it, right?
It is, because the level of professionalism from the building employees, from everybody, we are here to look out for you. And I would say to my guys that, hey, you're part of a union. This is a union building. It's called the Service Employees International Union. The first word is service. This is what we're here to provide you. And this is what we're here to make sure that your investment stays at that level of service when you bought in.
That's great. So
something that you think it's sort of easy, but people have to be trained a certain way, and I think in my building, especially, I have a very good crew. I have very good people who they really care about the people that live in the building.
Well, so you described that your guys treat the tenants, the folks that live there, the folks that have purchased there, like family, right? And so family's going to want to feed them. Are they allowed to? Again, I know nothing. I'm curious. They're allowed to feed them. Are they allowed to tip them? Are they allowed to give them Christmas gifts, Easter gifts? Easter's coming up. Are they going to get Easter eggs or Easter baskets? What do we get? What has shown up on your desk that you're like, oh, that was a nice gift?
You know what? Everything. I'm actually a trophy person, so that shows.
You're looking forward to Friday.
Yeah, anything. Listen to bottles of wine, alcohol, to everything else. Yes, they are allowed to accept it racistly. Nobody's going to overdo it, but I just think it's a nice gesture. Like, you know what? I'm going to give you a bagel today because I walked to the bagel store, came back. Here's one for you too. You're sitting here at the desk, or you're standing at the desk rather, for the next 8 hours. Enjoy yourself. Have a cup of coffee. It's the friendship, camaraderie, and everything that goes with it.
I like it. So I love that because I was just under the impression is maybe they're not allowed to gift to them, and so I love it that they're able to reciprocate the service because, as you know, you're in the service industry, and there's two ways to service is one of those things where a thank you is nice, but then a thank you plus really gratitude by showing a gift is just wonderful, and I know that's because you guys do such a great job. Let's talk about so you talk about property management in New York with your friend Frank. Tell us about what does that look like? How did that dynamic all get start? And it described here in that you guys are two dinosaurs talking about this industry. I don't think you're that old, Bo. I don't think you're that old. Come on now.
No. But we're not ready for retirement. It's it's a labor of love that we do this show. It's more because we want to get back to something. We both, like we said, we've been over 40 years in this industry, and we've grown in this industry. And this industry has resident manager clubs out there. There's about 8 of them in New York, different ones that you could participate and join them. I'm a member of 4 of them, and on the board of the resident managers club, which I really, really hold dear. And to that, where you meet your fellow RMs, resident managers, and property managers, but you also meet so many different vendors and contractors. And these people all come in, and this is, where you pick up leads or you pick up, maybe a different plumber. It's like, hey, no, this guy sounds good. Let me try him out. It's all really to help each other. And when we saw in New York, there's that term superintendent. Hey, super, how you doing? Hey, listen, my whole thing was what I like to say is that no, we're not superintendents, even though there are the working superintendents. That's fantastic. We love them. Me, at this stage of my career and life, everything, I'm a resident manager. I do. So I don't like that term to use around it, but I like to say that you know what, the supers have come out of the basement a long time ago, and throughout the course of the years, supers have been depicted as the guy with the tool belt and the toothpick, and
Yeah, in every sitcom every New York sitcom, that's exactly what they are. Yeah.
we want more. And Frank says it best when he goes, which drives me crazy. We want to wear a hat. I'm like, Frank, which hat are you going to wear today? But, it's absolutely true. We are human resources. We're psychiatrists, psychologists. We have to figure out the mentality of the bank, figure out the mentality of our shareholders, unit owners. We have to figure out why they're coming into my office yelling and screaming. I know it's not because it's something else. So let's calm down. Let's sit and talk and try to reason it out. Um, there's so many dynamics to a daily routine. There is no daily routine. Every day is completely different. When I come in, I come into this office, I'm like, what's the next email? Over 100 a day, by the way. What's the next email? Like, what is the next project? And you're also running multiple projects. There's a ton of local laws. As a matter of fact, I was leafing through one of them, the real quick one, that is like 100 pages long, and just a brief, just the local laws for this year that goes on. Um,
Was
we
just the
have,
added local laws that they added?
yeah, we have those every year. There's local.
Sorry, Bo.
Composting now is a big thing in New York City. We have to compost, and I don't see many farms around here, but they're going to put it somewhere.
Right. Well, you know what you need to do is get a chicken coop above on the top of the building, and they can help you compost.
I love honey, so bees would be it. If I could get a
Yes.
bee like that, I'd love that. It's interesting. New York City comes up with these local laws every year, and some of them are fantastic. Some of them mean well, but I think the execution is really not 100% thought out because they'll bring it out. We'll practice and try to put it into perspective, try to do the right thing, and then we come back and say, listen, guys, this is not working. This is not working. So I have a very good relationship with the local sanitation. I have a very good relationship with the fire department. All call it the New York City Police Department. That would reach out to them all the time. They reach out to us. So again, it's constantly evolving, a daily. I can't wait to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
always issue.
It's always new. Yeah. You get 100 different emails. Yeah. You got to, were you composting 10 years ago?
No. The bags are out in the street. I mean, I will tell you a funny story. Today, I just coming back from the doctor's appointment. I'm in the subway. I'm on 72nd Street, and here comes a rat that is going right along. Well, you don't know the subways, but they have a big yellow border which says "Don't step there when the train is coming." Obviously. And he's just walking along. People, ladies are jumping out of the way. Everybody's jumping out of the way, and he just keeps walking along. I said, "That's a New York."
Wow.
For you, man.
That's yeah. Every day's something awesome. I bet over there. Yeah, it's definitely fast paced. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this because I'm curious. How did COVID change property management or your residence management? How did you guys deal with that? And when did you? How long was New York really affected by that? Or how long could you till you guys got back to what you felt like was a normal?
I think by now we're mostly back to normal. You'll still see the hand sanitizers in the lobbies and here and there. People are still wearing masks. I think it was one of the most devastating things besides 9/11 that happened to New York City at a scale that we've never seen before, where you actually look up and down and there's nobody in sight. All of our buildings were under lockdown. We were essential personnel. We stayed in the buildings. We slept in the buildings. We stayed, and people stayed doing 12-hour shifts, trying to get people to cover. Our own people, our own staff and employees got sick and were dying. And yet, we stayed at our jobs. That's what we're there for. If we weren't at the door, nobody's going to bring any kind of delivery in. We had to be there. I think I'm very, very proud of our members, our resident managers, our property managers that assisted us. You couldn't ask for a better example of what it means to be a tragedy in New York where people come together and help you out. There was shortage of everything. We couldn't get any gloves, masks, anything. We were just like, whatever we could do and whatever we could do for our residents. A lot of them in a lot of buildings left town, left New York, but the ones who stayed with us, they developed COVID. So now how are we going to deal with that? Now we got to have basically every day was a new strategy to get that. I remember getting packages and spraying Lysol all over them, and then bringing it up there in gloves and masks. It's just, it was an incredible time. Very surreal, very incredible that we made it.
Yeah.
We made it.
Well, I was just curious of how that. I know it was affected everybody in the country, but New York's so densely populated. I just wanted to get your story there. And then one of the things you mentioned earlier is that you're a part of some organizations that have other residence managers in there. Would you classify those as kind of masterminds or groups, or how would you classify those?
I wouldn't say that, but no. All kidding aside, each club individually has something different to offer, and each club has the same really great idea and how it promote the resident manager to have people understand what it is that we really do. What we handle, right? The projects that we handle. I mean, people come into the building, they're ready to work, they know where they're going, they know what time they're supposed to be there. We make sure that fully qualified and professional people are doing the job. We have to keep track of everything. We have to keep track of payroll for each individual person for 2 weeks out of the year. We have to get supplies, order supplies. Well, which vendor? Now we go back and forth and, try to get the best pricing. We do our budgets for the year, financially, everything. There is to do in a building. We're doing it. So these things help you. Every week we have a different contractor, a different vendor come to their company, explain their services, explain what they do and what can they provide for us. So it's always a learning experience.
Bo, that's great. So you're constantly, even though you've been doing the business for a while, you're sharing it with folks. You're still learning something. You're still finding out there's new subcontractors or new contractors to work with. Maybe they do a better job, and always looking to upgrade your folks' experience that you work for. Bo, where can people find you and your podcast if they were looking on the internet? Where can they find you?
You can find us on YouTube. We are Building Talk.
Building Talk.
Building Talk. And our website is buildingtalknyc.com. They can reach out to us. Just Building Talk. I'm sure you'll find it. You can't miss this place, man. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I wish I started this younger, but I never really got better looking. So.
Well, you look great. You look like you're using some sort of a face cream. I think So don't give yourself such a hard time. Well, Bo, thanks again for coming on the Real Estate Pros podcast. Folks, if you want to find out more about Building Talk, go to YouTube and check them out there. Bo, thanks again for coming on. Folks, like and subscribe to Investor Fuel, a YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.